Well, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Today is Tuesday, July the 20th, and it is 7 p.m. and we are back. That's right, we're back at the Assembly Hall at 901 Main Street in the heart of Old Town Conyers. And Director Morgan, I'm putting a little emphasis on the fact that we're back, Ms. Gillett, because it's been a minute since we've been in this Assembly Hall. We left due to the pandemic, and then we started doing a series, commissioners, of virtual meetings. Then we made our way back over into the auditorium next door. But this is where all of our media equipment is set up, and we're staged to do what we need to do to bring to the citizens of Rockdale County. It's really good to be back, and back in the Assembly Hall, and to take care of the people's business. And
It's so pretty.
it's bright, refreshed, and upgraded. So let's just give our maintenance department a round of applause. Absolutely.
It has that new building smell. Like
That
a
new building smell.
car smell,
Like
the
that
new building smell.
Yes. And it's always amazing to see the work of our maintenance team when you think of 4 people and it seems like there's an army of about 20 plus people. Lynn, there's only 4 people on the whole maintenance team to get the job done, and they service Rockdale County. That warrants another round of applause. Give them another round. All right, so we've got a robust meeting tonight. Chief Cade, Executive Director Rutledge, we're gonna get this meeting rocking and rolling. I'm calling this meeting to order, and we're gonna start with special recognitions and presentations.
So I don't think we have any planned for tonight, unless we had any extra that came up. Director Gum, did we have anything else? Great, so if we want to get into agenda review.
Sounds good to me. Commissioners, we'll go right on into agenda review, and we will start right here.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So this will be for our July 27th voting session. So we'll jump right into it. And item number 6 under unfinished business is the first item we have. And that's item 313. This is an ordinance amending Article 4, Chapter 2, Part 2 of the Code of Rockdale County, Georgia, by providing for the creation of and reorganization of certain departments to provide an effective date and for other purposes. This will be submitted for a second reading.
Okay, all right.
And Mr. Chairman and Commissioners, if you'd like, I will continue to read until I'm interrupted.
Commissioners, what's your pleasure?
Sound good?
So
Thank
moved.
you. So we move on to the regular agenda. Item 317 is with the Atlanta Regional Commission through the General Services and Senior Services Division for the Home and Community-Based Services HCBS grant in the amount of $407,650.13. The term is July 1st, 2021 through June 30th, 2022. Item 318 is also with the Atlanta Regional Commission for the General Services Department through the Senior Services Division. This is for the Family First Coronavirus Act grant. This is change order number 1 to contract 2020-63. It's an additional funds of $58,845.65. The term is May 1st, 2020 through September 30th, 2021. That must be 2021, is that correct, Director Sanders, the term? Okay, I'll make that change. Item 319 is the Meals on Wheels of America through the General Services Department. This is the grant acceptance. This is for Pet Bites program in the amount of $3,067.05. The term is July 1st, 2021 through the July 1st, 2022. Item 320 is with Open Hand Atlanta Incorporated through the General Services Department. This is for home delivered meals. It's in the amount of $75,925.85. The term is July 1st, 2021 through December 31st, 2021 with the option to renew 4 additional 1-year periods. Item 321 is with A Action Janitorial Service Incorporated through the General Services Department. This is for general janitorial custodial services at various county facilities. It's change order number 2 to contract 2020-90. This is to add cleaning services at Johnson Park Recreation Center for 3 days a week per month. It's an additional $1,913.20 a month. Item 322 is with the Corey Brown Band. This is for general services through the Recreation Division. This is part of the Summer Concert Series band performance at Johnson Park in the amount of $2,500. It's scheduled for October 24th, 2021. Item 323 is with Snapping Shoals through the General Services Department. This is for the Shady Grove Park electric meter. It's the conditions of service agreement, and it's at no charge. Item 324 is with Centos. This is for General Services, RDOT, and Water Resources. This is for the uniform rental services. It's a unit price contract, and it's with the OMNIA partners price. It's charged to each department, and it's for 36 months.
Okay.
Item 325 is with Albert K. Strain. This is through the General Services Department, the Recreation Division. This is for tennis coaching for adults and youth at Johnson Park at the Rockdale Tennis Center. It's a 70-30 split. It's an amount of $7,000 through December 31st, 2021, with the option to renew 2 12-month periods. Item 326 is with HESCO HVAC Equipment Services Company. This is through the General Services Recreation Division. This is for the pool pack service agreement in the amount of $29,655. It's for 3 years. Item 327 is with Base Light Productions, LLC, through the General Services Department, through the Parks Division, and this is permission to use Costly Mill Park for filming the TV movie The Waltons Homecoming in the amount of $9,800 revenue. The term is June 14th, 2021 through July 7th, 2021, and it's a ratification.
Good night, John Boy.
I know.
He's been waiting since they got
See those
the
lights
initial
off?
MOU to been saying that. He was just waiting.
You're just mad that you didn't think of it.
No, I'm not.
I can see that at Costly Mill Park with all the lights going off in the houses. Oh my gosh.
Next item, please.
All right, I'm done. Okay. Item 328 is with Orange Cone Productions LLC through the General Services Department through the Parks Division. This is the location restoration release for use of Costly Mill Park for filming Legacy Season 3. Item 329 is with Orange Cone Productions LLC through the General Services Department. This is permission to use Earl O'Neill Park for filming TV series Legacies Season 3 in the amount of $4,300 revenue. The term is June 8th, 2021 through June 11th, 2021, and it's submitted for ratification.
So Executive Director Sanders, you're going to have to notify Commissioner Washington when they're filming at our facilities in case they need an extra. So,
Please do.
okay.
An extra? You'd settle for that? Like more star, right? Hey, just saying.
She make her debut.
Yes. You never know, right?
Next item, please.
Item 330 is with Olive Avenue Productions LLC through the General Services Department. This is permission to use Earl O'Neill Park for filming Doom Patrol in the amount of $3,700 revenue. The term is May 27, 2021 through June 2nd, 2021, and it's submitted for ratification. Item 331 is with Jalen Gilstrap. This is through the General Services Department. This is for musical performance at the Costly Mills Center for the grand opening in the amount of $1,800. The term is July 1st, 2021 through July 26, 2021. Item 3.
This week.
Sorry.
That's this week, and thanks, Commissioner. You want to tell everybody about the excitement happening this Sunday?
2 to 4 is the open house of Costly Mill, the banquet center, the event center. And then 4 to 6 is the concert, the opening of our summer concert series at Costly Mill. So,
Absolutely. So we're excited. Jalen Gilstrap, is a local artist here in Rockdale County, and it's always good when we can support our local artists here in Rockdale County. He does a fantastic job with the saxophone. He's going to do the part of the grand opening at Costly Mill Event Center, and then as the commissioner mentioned, we're going to transition over to the other part of the park for the kickoff of the summer concert series. And don't forget to bring your lawn chair, Commissioner.
I have my golf clinic that day, so I might be a little late.
You'll be a little late?
Yeah,
Okay.
very late.
All right.
But isn't Philippia a Rockdale County resident also?
She is, and in fact, I really appreciate you mentioning that. She is a Rockdale County resident. She is also on the lineup for the kickoff for the concert that's going to take place right after the grand opening of the Costly Mill Event Center. So we've got two local artists from Rockdale County. Jalen Gilstrap, and Philippia is a phenomenal voice all throughout Metro Atlanta, and she lives here in Rockdale County.
And our tax commissioner is a stalker
Yeah, of
Philippia.
Oh, well, she has a huge following, and we believe that the park is going to get packed. We encourage people to come early, and it's going to be, we're excited. We didn't get a chance to do this last year because of the pandemic, so it was held hostage. This year, people get to come out and participate, and it's a family affair too. I want to make sure I say that. We've got food and beverage vendors on site, so we're really excited about it, absolutely.
Do we have all of our, somebody contacted me asking if we have all of our vendors, and if we don't, how they could become a vendor.
Well, we have all of the vendors. The last report I received from Deputy Director Redmond. However, the thing that he said to me I thought was really smart. He says, Chairman, send them anyway, because if somebody can't make it or something happened, we always like to have an alternative or a backup. So if you've got somebody, direct them to Deputy Director Redmond. He and his team out there are making sure they keep a log and a list of who wants to serve.
All right, I'm writing it down.
Super duper. All right, next item.
Item 332 is with Ross and Associates. This is with the Planning and Development Department for the 2021 Annual Capital Improvement Elements, the CIP update for fiscal year 2020 in the amount of $4,880, and this is for 6 months. Item 333 is with Invoice Cloud Incorporated through the Planning and Development Department. This is for Invoice Cloud online payment. This is change order number 2 to contract 2020-147. This is for the signing of onboarding form to complete the onboarding process. Item 334 is with Invoice Cloud Incorporated with the Water Resources Department. This is for payment processing. This is change order number 3 to contract 2020-147 for additional onboarding documents requiring signature to go live. Item 335 is with CCR Environmental Incorporated through the Water Resources Department. This is for long-term water quality and biological monitoring services. This is change order number 1 to contract 2020-114. It's for additional services, and the additional amount is $34,140, and to extend the term through December 31st, 2021. Item 336 is with Engineering Strategies Incorporated, ESI, through the Water Resources Department. This is for construction management for the water treatment plant maintenance building. This is change order number 2 to contract 2020-41. It's to extend the term through August 16th, 2022. Item 337 is with Crown Castle through the Water Resources Department. This is for the tower site lease for master radios mounted on the tower. This is change order number 5 to contract 2007-45. This is for the rent escalation. It's an increase of 5% per month. The new monthly rate is $947.61.
is that an amount we pay or an amount they pay us for renting the tower?
So, Director Bogan, yes, thanks.
That's the amount that we have to pay, and we have radios for the SCADA system on it, and for the
Radios
water,
for what system?
the SCADA system that we monitor the water system with,
Okay. All
and
right,
we have to pay
thank
that.
Okay, thank you, Director.
Thank you. Item 338 is with DeKalb County, Georgia, through the Water Resources Department. This is an intergovernmental agreement to provide sewerage services to the Honey Creek Drainage Basin, and the amount of time would be 10 years. Item 339 is with the Georgia Department of Transportation through the Water Resources Department. This is the standard utility contract item agreement and the resolution to relocate the county water facilities at Highway 138 at East Fairview Road. An estimated current cost is $115,423.12. Item 340 is with NAFCare Incorporated through the Sheriff's Office. This is the Inmate Healthcare Services Agreement. It's change order number 2 to contract 2020-98. It's a 2.5% price increase of the current per diem and 1-year renewal through September 15th, 2022.
Can I just say that NAFCare is a premier servicer in the jails. At NACO, they talked, you'd hear NAFCare come up. Yeah, you didn't hear any other company come up, but they did. They have been wonderful working with our Stepping Up initiative and helping us to figure out how to share data and accomplish what needs to be done. They're really competent.
Well, I knew the sheriff was satisfied with them and their performance over at the jail. I think they've only had them maybe about a year or so.
Just about a year.
Right. And you're absolutely right. They're well known on the national scene with the NACO. Commissioner, you were going to mention something?
No.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Next item.
All right. Item 341 is with Aramark Correctional Services LLC through the Sheriff's Office. This is the food service for the jail. This is change order number 4 to contract 2017-112. It's a 2.8% unit price contract increase and renew 1 year until August 31st, 2022.
And yes, commissioners, you're going to notice an increase in a lot of these contracts. There's increases in every area of procurement across the county. And even local retail shops, I'm sure people are experiencing that when they go out. There's all kind of increases. Some of my old car buddies was telling me about the big deal in terms of the increase of automobiles. It's like a huge increase.
And
Big
it's
increase.
happening really fast.
Yes.
Because we were looking at a specific car, and the one we were looking at, by the time we decided we wanted to go see it, it was sold.
Yeah.
Same day. And by the next day, the price had gone up on all of that model for $3,000.
There's a big
10%.
demand on the inventory. A lot of the dealerships don't have vehicles. It's also had an impact on our fleet order for Rockdale County. We're finding ourselves that when there is something that's there, you got to move. You got to get it then. You got to lock it down then. There's a lot of online bidding that's happening with inventory that's in a parking lot or somewhere at a fleet situation with dealers and manufacturers. And I'm telling you, this is nothing unusual with these increases. Material costs for construction is just skyrocketed. So we're seeing a lot of that, and I will give hats off to our procurement team for monitoring, because the art of negotiation still takes place when you can deal with some of these folks. Make sure that you're moving fast. You got to be on the edge of your seat to get these deals when they happen. Just thought I'd point that out. Next item.
Item 342 is with Marchman Consulting. This is with the Superior Court Accountability Courts to provide a variety of services for multiple grants for program operations to evaluation services in the amount of $75 per hour, 1 year with option to renew 2 additional 1-year periods. Item 343 is with the Georgia Department of Transportation through the Transportation Department. This is for the Courtesy Parkway right-of-way reimbursement not to exceed $8,570,000. This is for 18 months and submitted for ratification. Item 344 is to the Georgia Department of Transportation through the RDOT Department. This is for the roundabout lighting at Highway 138 and East Fairview Road, and the term is for 50 years. Item 345 is with the Georgia Department of Transportation through the RDOT Department. This is for the roundabout lighting at SR 20 and West Hightower Trail and Chandler Road, and the term is 50 years. Item 346 is with the Georgia Department of Transportation through the RDOT Department. This is for the roundabout lighting for Highway 138 at Union Church Road, and the term is also 50 years. Item 347 is with CHA Consulting Incorporated through the RDOT Department. This is the consent to assign Wolverton and Associates Incorporated contracts to CHA Consulting, and this will be effective May 2021. Item 345 is with Sincar Consulting Group LLC through the RDOT Department. This is for program management support. This is change order number 1 to contract 2020-170. It's an additional $100,000, 50% is SPLOST and 50% through the general fund. This renewed term for 1 year until December 7th, 2022. Item 349 is through Snapping Shoals EMC with the Rockdale County EMA/Communications Department. This is the conditions of service for the installation of 3 security light poles with lights at 2120 Farmer Road, the 911 center, in the amount of $72 per month for 36 months. Item 350 is with the Rockdale County Amateur Radio Emergency Services, the ARES, through Rockdale County EMA. It's a memorandum of understanding to provide communication services support to agencies serving the public during emergency situations. It is at no cost and it's for 4 years.
And let me just say that we certainly do appreciate all of our amateur radio operators that are out in Rockdale County. For a lot of people, this may appear or seem to be a thing of the past, but there are still a lot of amateur radio operators out there in our community, and they serve a big role in the event that we have a major disaster or some type of catastrophe in our community, because in addition to relying on E911, we also have the backup of our amateur radio operators, and you don't hear a lot about them, but they're out there, they're still dedicated to the cause, and for them to make themselves readily available to county government and on standby, it's a plus for us. So we certainly do. I wanted to make sure I said that, because when I think about public safety, particularly fire and EMA, commissioners, we never want our 911 system to go down. That's the real deal. So having them, Director Morgan.
Just as a point of note, the local leader of the Rockdale areas is a Rockdale County employee.
That,
Jeff Crowley, which is the water department.
well, see, that's even better, because that means he's got a whole lot vested in making sure that we're safe. So we appreciate him, and we appreciate you sharing that with us too. Okay. All right, Director.
Thank you. Item 351 is through Crown Castle, and this is for the Rockdale County EMA Department. The Smyrna Road Tower, it's change order number 20 to contract 2007-46. It's permission to allow Dish Network to upgrade the equipment on the tower. It's at no cost, but a single install of equipment. Item 352 is with the U.S. Department of Justice, FBI, through the EMA Department. This is a memorandum of understanding to allow the FBI to locate their radio equipment and antenna on the Rockdale County Public Safety Radio Tower on Union Church Road site. It's at no cost and it's ongoing until terminated. Item 350,
When the FBI starts, I'm like, we just gonna do this
Y'all don't have a
forever.
problem with that.
Right?
Y'all don't have a problem with that. Both y'all give y'all don't have
It's like forever. And we're not gonna even contest it, just do whatever you need to.
duly noted.
All right. There's no problem. We're working well with the FBI.
Exactly.
I'll make sure to get that on the
We
record.
are,
wink.
we are cooperating. Next item, please.
Item 353 is with the U.S. Department of Justice, the FBI, through Rockdale County EMA. This is also a memorandum of understanding to allow the FBI to locate on their radio equipment and antenna on the Rockdale County Public Safety Radio Tower on Miller Bottom Road. No cost, ongoing until terminated. Item 354 is with Cogsdale Corporation through the Technology Services Department. This is professional services and project management, long-term consulting engagement services. It's change order number 2 to contract 2017-183. It's an upgrade to CSM Build 2020 R2 or higher and associated with Great Plains. It's an additional $32,550. Item 355 is with Velocio, and this is through the Technology Services Department. This is for Great Plains upgrade. It's change order number 1 to contract 2018-153. It's an upgrade for the finance associated with the Cogsdale upgrade, and it's an additional $11,050. Item 356 is with Standard Office Systems through the Technology Services Department. This is change order number 7 to contract 2018-77. It's to add to lease and a wide format printer for the Fire and Rescue Department in the amount of $150.16 per month for 63 months. Item 357 is with Carousel Industries for the Technology Services Department. This is for the Active Directory Assessment Services in the amount of $9,150. This is the Environmental Systems Research Institute, the ESRI Technology Services Enterprise License Agreement in the amount of $130,000, and it's for $35,000 for year 1, $40,000 for year 2, and $55,000 for 3 years. Item 358 is also with ESRI through the Technology Services Department, and this is for the Enterprise License Agreement in the amount of $130,000, and it's also the same with year 1, 2, and 3 for 3 years. Item 359 is the Center for Children and Family Futures Incorporated through the Juvenile Court. This is for training and technical assistance for Family Treatment Court. This is change order number 1 to contract 2020-144. It's to extend the term through February 28th, 2022. Item 360 is through the Association County Commissioners of Georgia for the Defined Benefit Plan for Rockdale County employees. It's addendum number 1 and the addendum to the adoption agreement. Item 361 is an agreement with Roslyn Miller for the Rockdale County settlement and general release in the amount of $345,000. Item 362 is a requisition through the Transportation Department for Atlas Technical Consultants, LLC. This is for interstate fencing study in the amount of $37,376, and it's through SPLOST funds. Item 363A is a requisition through the Water Resources Department for EDEC Incorporated for electrical services for Scott and Honey Creek pump stations and the force main design in the amount of $31,500.
Director Rutledge, can we go back to 361?
Yes.
If I'm in opposition for that, can it come off the consent agenda?
Yes.
Thank you.
I'll place it on regular agenda for next Tuesday.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, item 363B is a requisition through the Water Resources Department for Delta Municipal. It's for 500 water meters for radio read program in the amount of $147,500. This is for the water fund and the SPLOST funds. Item 364 is a requisition through Technology Services Department for IMSCT LLC. It's for IT network review and the data center planning in the amount of $30,000. Item 365 is a requisition through the Sheriff's Office for Wade Ford Incorporated for 2 Ford Explorer Pursuit vehicles in the amount of $72,152. Item 366A is a requisition through the General Services Department for Allen Vigil Ford for Ford Explorers and Ford Escapes in the amount of $387,360, and this is host funds and submitted for ratification. Item 366B is requisition through the General Services Department for Speedway Ford for Ford Expeditions in the amount of $150,758, and these are host funds.
Can I ask a question about the Escapes and Explorers and Expedition? Are any of them hybrids?
Yes, ma'am. The Escapes, 3 of those are hybrids, all 3.
Okay.
Yes.
And the reason why I'm asking is because there's a huge push for whatever technology friendly, the latest in technology to use all those in transportation coming out of NACO. I'm thinking that there's going to be a whole lot of funding available in the future for anything that we do dealing with economy or saving of gas and converting to electrical vehicles and hybrids and things like that. So I would like for us to, in the future, at least look at hybrids so that we can align ourselves so that we can maybe get some help to pay for them.
Yeah, that's great to hear, because when I was looking, there really aren't a lot of options, especially for what we need. The Explorers, it was almost $18,000 to do hybrids for those. So to do that right now isn't, for us, cost, effective. But hopefully with the programs they're implementing, if we can get some funding, that'd be great. So definitely be on the lookout.
I'm glad Commissioner Washington brought that up, because she's right. During the NACO conference just a week or so ago, there were representatives, just like she mentioned, that talked about eco-friendly vehicles, particularly for government. And one of the conversations centered around the fact that there's not I guess a higher energy saving F-150. They do have the EcoBoost that's out there currently on the market, but they're looking for something that will be more fuel effective and cost efficient in terms of energy saving. And the federal government is looking at ways to support local municipalities and counties if we decide to look for those vehicles and bring them into our fleet. It's not going to be an overnight thing, because there's still plenty of gasoline vehicles and diesel vehicles that's out on the market. But all of these regular retail manufacturers and automobile manufacturers are producing more and more, and Ford and Chevrolet is leading the way with doing that same thing, and so is the Honda product is doing that. And a few of those folks were at the conference talking about that. So I really appreciate the commissioner mentioning that, because from a cost-saving standpoint, Commissioner Williams and staff, this is something, Chief, we certainly want to be looking into, Director Sanders, going forward, and keeping our finger on the pulse of those opportunities. So thanks again for that. Absolutely.
Okay. Item 367 is a requisition through General Services Department for Pro Fence. This is for the fencing for 2570 Old Covington Building, the RDOT Code Fleet Departments, in the amount of $57,492.50. Item 368 is an expenditure request to the DeKalb County Revenue and License Administration through the Water Resources Department. This is for sewage treatment for January 2021 in the amount of $77,098.39. Item 369 is an expenditure request through the DeKalb County Revenue and License Administration for the Water Resources Department. This is for sewage treatment for February 2021 in the amount of $64,787.69. Item 370 is an expenditure request for the DeKalb County Revenue and License Administration through the Water Resources Department, also for sewage treatment. This is for March 2021 in the amount of $63,248.85.
So what are we doing to not have to pay DeKalb County for a water treatment?
Right. I'm going to yield to Director Bogan. They've educated me on the crisscross between Rockdale County and DeKalb County. Some days I get excited because they're sending us a check. Some days I get disappointed because we're sending them a check. And just listening to this, like we're sending them about 3 big old checks. But can you lower our blood pressure and tell us something about it? Explain this.
Okay, what we're doing is we had the Abbott lift station pump station, we put out for bid, and once we get that and put it in place, we would stop having to send sewer to DeKalb County. We would treat it ourselves. So that's been bidded out and is in process now, being designed with the postman.
So do we know what that timeline looks like?
No, I don't have an exact timeline right now. The bids just came back, reviewed, got the company.
And the bids are to design the...
To design
Okay.
the pump station and force main.
Where is it going? Where would the pump stations be?
It would be, it would, once we'll pump it to Auburn branch, and then we'll take it to Snapping Shoals, the new facility that we're building.
So the Southern District of the county, both the Almond Branch and the Snapping Shoals branch are both located on the Southern District of the county. There's currently being sewage pumped from the Mall Parkway area there at Sigmund Road underneath I-20 back to DeKalb County. And this is a part of that payment that we're making to them. But once this process is completed, we'll be in a better position where we don't have to.
We won't have to send it unless it's emergency situations. So,
Yeah. Thank you, Director.
all right, thank you.
Good question, Commissioner.
Thanks. Okay, item 371 is an expenditure request also with the DeKalb County Revenue and License Administration for the Water Resources Department, and this is for the sewage treatment for April 2021 in the amount of $72,103.69.
Let me just, I got to do this, just a quick piece of education about all of this that we're talking about. The average citizen has no clue of this actually happening, that we pay for sewage processing over in another county. Those particular residents that live in the Southern District of Rockdale County, when you talk about Flat Shoals Road, the Abbott Ridge area, the whole Mall Parkway area, Turner Road, McDaniel Mill Road, a lot of folks who don't even know that the county is in a position where we're actually providing that service through another county, through another interagreement. When we talk about fees and different impacts to having our own infrastructure, this is a part of that reason right there, because in order to be able to manage our own finances in terms of cost, it's better to own your own operating system. But this is nothing that just happened overnight. We've been doing this for many, many years, and we're trying to now get away from that so we can be totally independent in Rockdale County. I don't know, but I just thought I'd point that out, because I think sometimes, Chief Kate, because people don't see it, they don't know, they send us the bill, we send the bill to DeKalb County, and we keep it moving.
And Mr. Chairman, if I may, the commissioners, obviously you see the 4 payments from that we're paying from January to April. Director Bogan and his staff have been working very diligently the last 6 months in trying to get the revised IGA in place from DeKalb County. So that's another component of this, is working between the two governments. There was no delay on our part. I want to make that very clear to the commissioners. Director Bogan approached me about this back in I believe late January to get this resolved. We've been working with DeKalb County extensively to get this fixed, and now that we have the IGA in place, we can now start paying the invoices. So that's why you have 4 on your agenda tonight, and I know that's not normal, but in the future that will be resolved, and I just wanted to compliment his team for getting the IGA on the agenda now.
Very good.
Yeah.
Thank you, Chief. Director?
Thank you. Item 372 is surplus of equipment for the General Services Department, the Emergency Management Department, and the Clerk of Court's office. Item 373 is for permanent and construction easement at 2140 Old Covington Highway. This is for the Abbott Lake Road Pump Station and Force. This is for water resources. Item 374 is a list of alcoholic beverage license requests that is attached. Item 375 is a list of rights of entry requests through the Rockdale County Stormwater Utility. Item 376 is an appointment. This is for the Rockdale County Board of Assessors to appoint Maxwell Terry to the unexpired 6-year term of Curtis Briscoe. That would be current through February 27th, 2026.
And our Deputy Director, Lynn Cumby, is here on behalf of Director Will Barkley, and she's going to do the honors of actually formally introducing Mr. Terry. Ms. Cumby.
Good evening, Chairman, Commissioners.
Good evening.
I have the great honor to introduce to you someone I've worked along with for the last quite a few years, because he's one of our own. He's in our office already. But this is Max Terry, our new Deputy Director and Board of Assessor member. Max, would you like to say a few words?
Like Lynn said, my name is Max Terry. It says Maxwell there, but I never go by Maxwell. Just call me Max. I worked for 29 years in Morgan County, Alabama, for the Department of Revenue as an appraiser. And then I retired with the state of Alabama, and I moved over here and been with Rockdale County for 9 years and 2 months. And I look forward to the opportunity to serve the people of Rockdale County in this position and to be able to sit on the Board of Assessors.
Very good. Welcome aboard. Let's give him a round of applause. And Commissioners, I heard Deputy Director Cumby say that he's actually already on board, and that's something we get excited about all the time in the Department of Talent Management, when we can find the talent already on board inside the workforce here in Rockdale County, and we can afford those opportunities for people to move up. Oftentimes, we don't always have the talent inside the ranks of our employees, but in this case, we had the talent. The Director Barkley made a decision. He got with Talent Management, and voila, Max Terry is here with us tonight, and we're certainly glad that you're moving into a new role in this very important department and office that impacts all of what we do here in Rockdale County. Commissioners, any comments?
Welcome. And I was just going to say, I have a grandson, Maxwell, who goes by Max most of the time. Yeah.
There's a whole scene.
All right, well, thank you again. We look forward to working with you more in the days ahead, Max. Thank you so much. Next item.
Item 377 are the amendments to the Rockdale County Employee and Classification Pay Plan through the Talent Management Department.
Okay.
Item 378 is a resolution for the issuance of the Series 2021 bonds to fund Stormwater Capital Improvement Plan.
That should be a round of applause.
It really should be.
You know you missed it. You know you missed it.
Go ahead.
It's a long time coming, and I think this is the beginning of us working very, very hard to give Rockdale County the services that it needs, the kind of the infrastructure that we deserve. And this is just the beginning, but it's definitely a needed first step. So I'm super excited to be at a place where we're issuing these stormwater capital, these bonds for this project. And I think that this is going through the Development Authority.
Yes, it is.
Because I think it's on their agenda for next week.
Right, and I think, I think one of the things that we will do, because I don't want to miss an opportunity here, and I'm really glad you highlighted, I want to ask both Director Simpkins and Mr. Mac Underwood from Terminus to come up and just give us a little bit more information. This is really good news for the residents of Rockdale County. Y'all come like you're on The Price is Right. Come on down.
No, wait a minute, both of them are too old to be running down. Y'all take your time.
Excited but cautious.
Right, take your time.
I didn't ask anybody to spin the wheel, so.
Good evening, everyone. I'll just mention and keep this really simple. The fact that I'm out here talking to these citizens, listening to their concerns about their stormwater issues that they're having. We all know that it costs to keep these promises that I'm making to these citizens out here about how I'm going to take care of them and look out for them. And thanks to Mac, I'm able to keep those promises because I got a little money I can use to get that stuff fixed. So,
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, we are in the process of doing the stormwater bond issue for about $10 million. It'll fund stormwater projects, $5 million for this year, $5 million for next year. Terrence has a detailed list of those projects and what will be worked on. It's going to be a couple of weeks down the road before we get the bonds issued, but you have to give this approval so we can get the work done, and Carter is also working with us on this process.
Very good. That's good news, and I appreciate Commissioner Washington being spot on again tonight, highlighting this, because the work with our infrastructure, particularly, we've been talking about, I've called stormwater the star of the show. This is just what Commissioner Washington said. This is just the beginning. There's much more work ahead in terms of infrastructure in Rockdale County. We just heard from the RWR Director Bogan, about what's happening in terms of these lift stations and pump stations throughout Rockdale County. Stormwater has a big impact. I've got to open up an email today with about 4 different photos from a resident who sent me his front yard, his driveway, and the back of his home, and his house was built in the early 90s, Director Morgan. And there are some issues that date back all the way to when he purchased his home. But these are a lot of the same issues we're seeing all throughout Rockdale County as relate to stormwater. They didn't happen last night. And for 40 years, they've been neglected, and now we're able to really get something done. And so hats off to Terminus, to this board, and the leadership of Director Simpkins and his team moving this project forward. But this is, you're absolutely right, Commissioner, this is just the beginning. Thank you so much. Let's give them another round of applause. All right.
Thank you for that. Item 379 is rezoning case 2021-15, an ordinance to amend the official zoning district map of Rockdale County, Georgia, as amended by rezoning property located at 1959, 1969, 1971, 1975, 1985, and 0 Old Covington Highway Southeast from the R1.
Those are dates or addresses?
We're trying to get out of 1985, right?
And 75.
So we would appreciate the rezoning request. So from the R1 Single Family Residential Zoning District and M1 Limited Industrial District to MUR Mixed Use Residential Zoning District to impose conditions upon the property, to repeal conflicting ordinances, and for the other purposes. This will be submitted for a first reading. Item 380 is future land use case 2021-09, an ordinance to amend the future land use map of Rockdale County's comprehensive plan as amended so as to redesignate property located at 1959, 1969, 1971, 1975, 1985, and 0 Old Covington Highway Southeast from the commercial future land use category to the high density residential future land use category, to repeal conflicting ordinances and for other purposes. This will be submitted for a first reading. Item 381 is a text amendment case 2021-23, an ordinance to amend the text of section 106-1 definitions, sections 218-1 permitted use table, section 218-13 standards of use and development of the Unified Development Ordinance of Rockdale County as amended regarding many warehouses and self-storage units, to repeal conflicting ordinances and for other purposes. This will be submitted for a first reading. Item 382 is text amendment 2021-22, an ordinance to amend the text of section 206-7, MUR Mixed Use Residential District, sections 214-1, dimensional standards of zoning districts, and section 218-1 table of permitted uses of the Unified Development Ordinance of Rockdale County as amended regarding the MUR zoning district, to repeal conflicting ordinances and for other purposes. This will be submitted for a first reading.
Director, if I might, I just can't stand it, I gotta ask. Director Johnson, what is the MUR zoning district? What is the zone? Can you come up and give us the quickest, fastest education on the MUR zoning district? I don't know whether the two commissioners know it, but I don't know what in the world that is.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman.
Good evening,
Commissioners. Mixed-use residential, MUR is mixed-use residential.
Okay.
Currently, it's in our Salem Road corridor right now, so this will allow it to actually go in other areas, so.
Okay, well, now you said mixed-use residential. I get it now. I've seen that many times and heard that several times.
But currently, it's only in one area.
It said the MUR. I didn't know what that was. Commissioner,
Well, it should be all acronyms, capital letters.
No, but It says MUR, mixed use residential. It says it right there.
Yeah, but that myrrh, that myrrh.
I wasn't confused.
You lost the chairman of her.
It started off with the word THG, it said the myrrh. So I'm just reading it the way it is. But I'm just, but thank you, Director. That was quick. That was fast and in a hurry.
And can I just say, I am completely distracted because all of these directors that have come up, it looks like they coordinated with the new paint in the room.
Yeah, his tie did blend with the paint, didn't it?
You really did.
And
That was a little.
And Miss
Geller, Charlotte Geller is not part of the
coordinated
staff.
either.
Well, she may as well be a part of the staff. She
She
picked
might
days
as well
that she
be.
want to be a part of the staff. Okay, all right, enough
Right,
for
back to the
right
myrrh
now.
and
Go ahead.
frankincense and something like that.
So now that we
right?
know what MUR means,
And I thought I read it.
even though it really,
I don't think I said myrrh, but
you did not say myrrh, you said MUR.
And
He
the
said
online,
myrrh.
the online people are watching say, I'm glad he asked that, because I was wondering that too.
No, they said, it says mixed use residential.
Next item, please.
you don't want me to have a reading of all the zoning districts because I can start from the WP and we could just run our way through, right? Right. Pay attention because I'll be teaching at the Citizens Academy class. I'll have a captive audience. Sorry, that sounded threatening. All right, item 383 is an ordinance to amend Chapter 18 of the Rockdale County Code of Ordinances as amended so as to amend certain provisions relating to the regulation of animals, to repeal conflicting provisions, to provide for an effective date, and for other purposes. This is submitted for a first reading.
And so our animal rights and all of our friends that were advocating for the changes, they should all be in here. So this is us keeping our word as the things we were going to do with our animal control. It's not animal control.
Animal services now.
Animal services
And they've got
department.
some good-looking trucks that's
I've
been
seen
wrapped with the
Yeah.
beautiful kittens and puppies all over the
I've
truck.
seen
The whole new, not wrapped literally, but wrapped with the advertisement. Somebody took that way too far. But anyway, our animal services now become way more pet-friendly here in Rockdale County. And to Commissioner Washington's point, we did listen and we did have several meetings with different members of the community regarding pets, particularly dogs and cat lovers throughout Rockdale County. So absolutely, we've got a whole new direction and we're in the process of doing an expansion over at the animal shelter, and we'll be able to do much better services in the days ahead. All right. Next item, please.
Item 384 goes right along with it. This is the policy for the Rockdale County Animal Services fee schedule.
Okay.
Item 385 is a resolution to authorize the acquisition of parcels of land for the public road right-of-way and other uses in land lots 239 and 240 of the 11th District of Rockdale County, Georgia, by negotiated contract of condemnation pursuant to the provisions of Title 22 and 32 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated. This is for Grenade Road, and this is submitted for ratification. This resolution was adopted by the Board of Commissioners back in May, but there was a scrivener's error in the legal description, and we have to run the ad again.
Okay. All right. Well, Commissioners, Director Rutledge, that covers agenda review. And it actually brings us back to, look like we're right at public comment. Rocking and rolling. All right, do we have any comment cards come forward from the gallery?
I have not received any.
Okay, all right.
None. Okay.
Now we go right into board comments, and I'll start with Commissioner Washington.
Well, this is the first time we've met since Red, White, and Boom. So I had a tremendously grand time with Red, White, and Boom. It seemed like, 4th of July is still one of my favorite holidays, and Red, White, and Boom, it gives us that feeling of patriotism and being at home. And so it's always nice to have something, especially since we're sitting on the porch. I feel like I'm in Haddock when we're sitting out on the porch.
I had a lot of friends say to me, that was awesome. That
Yeah.
was the best show I've ever been to.
Yeah, it's really, and then to have all the, I mean, we have 2 bands, to all of the vendors and everything, so it's really, really nice. So for one, enjoy Red, White, and Boom, and I'm hoping we continue to do that.
Yeah, and let's point out too, Commissioner, that that is a joint project between the city and the county government. The city actually manages and handles all of the logistics, so hats off to Mayor Evans and City Manager Tony Lucas and the police chief and all of the team that was out there, because they actually handled the logistics for it, and we are a chief contributing sponsor. We have the luxury of sitting on the porch and watching the fireworks from a great premium location, but it's a big deal, and to have that hometown feel, as the Commissioner stated, is a plus.
And love the selfie booth and all of that, so love it. The second thing, of course, we've mentioned before that we just came back from the NACO conference. So first I would like to congratulate Commissioner Laird Johnson from DeKalb County on his ascension to NACO president, and that's a big deal. It's a prestigious honor. It's highly contested when they're running for that office. It's a lot of elected officials running for another elected office, so you can imagine how contested it is.
It took them 2 years to get there.
Yeah. So we very, very proud of him, but also the chairman and I were given appointments to serve in his cabinet. I was appointed a vice chair of the Justice and Safety Committee and the International Economic Development Committee, and you were appointed vice president of which committee?
The Planning and Policy Committee that deals with all planning across the nation for the counties, for the National Association of Counties.
So congratulations.
Congratulations to you.
Thank you, and I look forward to using my time and talent to help his agenda. I think he's going to do very well. With that, NACO, when you're at NACO, you hear all of these ideas, and you hear all of the things that people are doing all over the country, and you come back and you're like, oh my goodness, where do we even start? But this particular year with the Biden administration, every seminar, every talk, everybody is focused on, first of all, ensuring that the counties get what they need. They are very focused on making sure that there's a conversation between local government and national government, and making sure that we get what we need to operate. Huge push on infrastructure and all the different avenues of infrastructure and technology, and marrying the two. Transportation is huge, but not just building transportation or infrastructure, but making it more cost effective and technologically savvy. Like I said before, they're looking at, they don't just want buses, they want smart buses. Right. They want different, the most technologically savvy, clean things that you can have. So I'm really excited about being able to put Rockdale County in a position so that we can do a lot of creative and innovative things coming out of this administration. Broadband, that I think I might have heard that 100,000 times while we're up there. We need to make sure that this county has every certification, everything we need, so that we are able to position ourselves so that we can get funding, so we can make sure that not just our citizens are ready, but all of our industries are ready also to receive broadband and move our labor market into the best position possible. Let's see. Yesterday, I had the pleasure of presenting at Representative Doreen Carter's Town Hall with Marita Johnson and Lorraine Cochran Johnson of DeKalb. That's 3 Johnsons, and all of them are doing things. But we had a great conversation about all the things that are going on in House District 92. I know she did record it, Representative Johnson, so if anybody wants to see it, I'm sure if you tag her on her Facebook page, she will release it so that everybody can see a lot of the things that are going on in this county and in House District 92. And for right now, I think that's all I have.
All right, Commissioner Williams?
Okay, I did not attend NACO in person, but I did attend virtually. And I sat in on numerous workshops and general sessions, and I took lots of notes and learned lots of things. Veterans and military services was interesting. They talked about service dogs and organizations that provide and service dogs. They had a program in Maryland where they take a wounded warrior and have him train the service dog, or her train the service dog, and that is therapeutic for them. And then they place that dog with another veteran.
Wow.
And you know, that whole double
Therapy.
experience of providing therapy was really interesting to me, especially since we have a service dog at our house and how much difference that has made.
Wow.
I also attended the Arts and Culture Commission. I love that. I don't sit on their committee, but I always attend. They had a number of different thoughts and speakers, and I think the thing that stood out for me with this one was that the arts are an approved funding thing to be used for the ARPA funds. And they talked a lot about integrating arts in with infrastructure kinds of things that we do. And so, you know, we need to be thinking about how we're going to integrate.
Jennifer and I are already there. We have something for you.
Well, we are all Alma graduates.
Very good.
And speaking of that, I had an opportunity to be a juror for the Alma Leadership Program this year, which Commissioner Washington was one of the participants. And what they did was take infrastructure projects and infused arts into them. And it was really fun to see the different projects and to make comments about them and just to be able to talk about them. It was really...
Wait a minute, you forgot something.
What's that?
That my group came in first.
Oh, yeah,
place.
yeah. I'm sorry.
You were leading up.
It was an awesome project that her group did. It really was.
And we did come in first.
Yes, they did. They did come in first. Although there really wasn't any big, it was, you know,
Yeah. But for
a lot of feedback, but your project really did stand out, and it was good. Thank you for bringing that up.
Of course.
You knew she wasn't going to miss that.
I sit on the Health Policy Steering Committee for NACO, and I have for a number of years now. And that meeting, I was disappointed because, well, I was disappointed, but I wasn't disappointed. It was supposed to be 3 hours from 9 to 12. And they do the policy part, and then they have speakers, which I was really looking forward to. They only did the policy part because the vice president was coming to speak at the general session, and it was going to take several hours to get people through security to get into that forum.
Boy, that was a
So-
line,
It
too.
did, several hours.
So, so I missed hearing those speakers, but I did watch Vice President Harris on Zoom. Two things, major things that I got out of it. The term equity came up over and over again. Equity in terms of using our ARPA funds, equity in terms of mental health services, in terms of our arts and culture. Equity came up over and over again. And so I met last week with David Corbin and a man who he works with about developing an equity policy for Rockdale County, specifically for procurement. And you know, we've talked about it, and we try to do that, but we don't have a policy in place. And so we're going to be working on that. That's an initiative I'm working on now.
That's big news. It is big news because the commissioner is so right. We've been talking about equity and inclusion, and particularly in the area of procurement for quite some time. And I am so excited, Chief Cave, to hear that Commissioner Williams is working with David Corbin and our financial advisors, because I think it's going to really allow us to let our actions match our words here in Rockdale County.
Right. And Jamie, do you remember, Chief Cabe,
It's okay.
do you remember, it was Michael?
Michael Cody.
Yeah. Okay, so he has developed these policies numerous times for numerous jurisdictions.
I think he's just about built his career around this kind of stuff.
Yes,
on the
and
big
it was
scene.
really interesting to talk with him.
That's great.
So I'm looking forward to that. And then the other initiative that I've been talking with the chief about is becoming broadband certified. This was really interesting to me. One of the sessions talked about the fact that they had a big number of their high school students who did not graduate this year because they didn't have broadband access to be able to easily attend their classes. And so that particular county is having to go back, and they're doing some kind of remedial program over the summer to get these folks the knowledge that they need to have, and so they can graduate and move on.
Right.
And so, you know, one of the first things I think we need to do is take an inventory of what our situation actually is in Rockdale County, how it's affecting our students, and work towards this broadband certification.
Absolutely.
So that we have access to everyone, affordable access to everyone, because it's not terribly affordable, honestly. And, you know, that's another initiative that I am taking on.
Excellent.
So, actually, one more thing. I had just the biggest pleasure Sunday to attend a birthday party for a former employee of the county who was turning 60, and her husband wanted to have a proclamation for her and read to her. And so they had me stay in the background until they were ready for it, and then had me walk in, and she was so excited. It was so much fun to see the shock on her face, the tears in her eyes, and to read that proclamation with all of the things that her husband had shared with public relations. It was such a sweet experience that I really appreciated the opportunity to do that.
Wow, that sounds exciting too. And I'll tell you, whenever we have an opportunity to award someone with a local proclamation, regardless of what the celebration or the event is, anytime you can celebrate somebody else, particularly birthdays. Birthdays have become super, super important nowadays. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Y'all do know September is coming, right?
Yeah. You're talking about the 23rd, right?
Right, the 23rd, and your date is the 4th. Right. So
She's a fur coat.
Okay, that's right. We got a lot of September folks over here in Rockdale County. All right. The whole board is September 4th, 23rd, and the 26th. Absolutely. Very good. All right. Yeah, okay. So I've got a few quick announcements I want to make. I think I'll pick up on the NACO conversation. Commissioner Washington represented us very well throughout this conference, and as she stated, the whole essence of all these conferences is being able to network and find out what other people are doing across the country. And you find out also that some of your problems and situations are not as unique as you think they are, because other people are dealing with some of the same things. But there was 3 points. Y'all know I like letters and I like 3. So I've got a new set, Director Holmes, of 3 T's. This is what I picked up, Chief Mack, out of the NACO conference. 3 T's: technology, transportation, and talent. A lot of the conversation was totally, as Commissioner Washington alluded to, centered around technology and the upgrade of technology and staying, Director Moore Jackson, on the cutting edge of technology. Then Director Moretto, it was all about transportation. The infrastructure of our country, making sure we're building up roads and bridges and streets, but also talk about mobility, making sure that people can get from one point to another point, and it was a lot of emphasis centered around county mobility. How are we making sure that people inside of our counties are getting from the north side to the south side and vice versa? I was delighted to hear this because we're already zooming in on that here in Rockdale County. And then talent. So many of y'all know that there are now hiring signs and help wanted signs all over the place. So that was the beginning of the conversation about talent, Director Holmes, but it didn't stop there. It talked about, Director Moretto, how we've got to really pay people to retain people and keep the talent here. Because everybody is pulling from one county to another county, from one municipality to another, or we're fighting with the private sector. And the truth of the matter is, we can't, sometimes government just can't compete with what's going down the road here in our own backyard of some of the manufacturers. We have folks here in Rockdale County, some of our plants and manufacturing companies are paying upwards from $16 to $18 to $20 an hour for people who have a high school diploma. That's good pay. Particularly if you're driving 10 to 15 minutes only in your own backyard in the county you live in, you don't have to get westbound on I-20 going toward Atlanta. And you can make $16, $18, $20 an hour right here. It really makes it difficult for county government or city government or any government entity to try to be able to hold on to people. It's evident that Max Terry is filling a role of a position that was left vacant to an employee that we had that went to the public sector. 3 T's: technology, private sector, transportation, and talent. The 3 T's. That's what I got out of NACO. That was a part of the central conversation there. The other thing I want to do is highlight and say hats off to Sheriff Levitt. I've been seeing a lot more of the motorcycles out and about in Rockdale County, and I think we're only, 3 weeks away from school opening back up here in Rockdale County. Even young people moving throughout the summer, having those motorcycles out patrolling neighborhoods and subdivisions. I was really delighted to see the motorcycle traffic enforcement units out in the county. And when I talked with both of those officers on the motors, they said to me, Chief Cade, that they are definitely going to be in the school zones when school opens up. So make sure that you remember school zones are 25 miles an hour. And we're so excited to see that the sheriff have the motorcycles out. In the spirit of talking about Sheriff Levitt, I also want to give him another round of applause because the Sheriff's Executive Command team was able to fellowship with the BOC leadership team on last Thursday. You know, good Good fellowship brings great relationships, and I really want to say thank you to Sheriff Levitt and all of his team. He's got some new members of his executive team, and we were able to meet and greet and kind of let our hair down and get a chance to fellowship with folks, so that when we get into a more of a business setting to conduct the business of the people, we can do that without anything standing in the way. 2 teams, 1 goal. So it was very good, and I really do appreciate that. Also want to remind everybody, all of our residents that are watching this broadcast or listening to this broadcast, please, ma'am, please, sir, remember to shop local. Make sure you shop local in Rockdale County. We have got, first of all, there is still a pandemic. We're still in the middle of a pandemic. We have to remember to go out and patronize our local businesses that are here in Conyers in Rockdale County. A lot of the items and merchandise that you may travel westbound or eastbound on I-20, you can find it right here in Rockdale. And I know a lot of folks are doing online shopping with Amazon and all that, but we want to be able to prop up and support our local businesses. So please, sir, please, ma'am, the next time you're thinking about getting something, as we are fastly approaching the holiday season, I want to remind everybody, we're going to be talking about this a lot more. And while I'm talking about the shop local, I have to talk about, I just have to do this because it's just so obvious and prevalent in our face. Director Joe Gum, the new director of public relations, has hit the ground running. He is literally all over this community. Give him a round of applause. You can see from the monitor there, he's already talking about shopping local. He produced it. We didn't tell him to do that. He's been paying attention to what we've been talking about here on the dais, and he's out in the community. I also heard him this afternoon making mention that, okay, he can't just hang out in Old Town. He's got to get in the unincorporated area of Rockdale County too, because there's businesses all throughout Rockdale County. So those other businesses on other areas of the county, are looking forward to seeing him. And he's magical with his camera getting out there, and he's got a energy that is just contagious, and folks just jump right into whatever it is he wants to do. And so we're glad that he's here. He and his team are hitting the ground, and I want to remind everybody, please support local businesses. I just can't say that enough. As our businesses are trying to bounce back from this pandemic, they need your support. Also, hats off to the Rockdale County Public School System and Dr. Terry Oates for the grand opening and the ribbon cutting this afternoon of the brand new central office of the old Pine Street Elementary School, located right there on Pine Street. This afternoon they had the grand opening and the ribbon cutting of their brand new central office facility here in Rockdale County for our public school system. And I tell you, it is very much a beautiful facility. It really, just like the city hall building for the city of Conyers, it really sends a clean, clear message about the forward progress in this community. So Rockdale County, let's get it together. So I just thought I'd say that because the city is looking good, the school system is looking good, and we're counting on David Corbin, Mark Lewis, Sue Sanders, and all of those people that's dealing with numbers and logistics to get it together. Chief, can I get an amen? Thank you. But we're super excited that those new structures are going up in our community, and they're certainly adding life to the direction that we're trying to go in here in Rockdale County. Commissioners, it is good to be back here in this building, in the Assembly Hall. We certainly do appreciate all of the hard work of all of our departments and employees. All of our department leaders are really up to their elbows in work, and we're moving Rockdale County forward. We are excited about the days ahead, and I just want to pause staff and really ask that you all join me in giving the commissioners a round of applause. Yes, the leadership of the commissioners, number one, with the opera funds, there were so many of our employees who were super appreciative of getting that extra bump in their pay in terms of the extra check a couple of weeks ago. It made a big difference because when they know that we are thinking about them, it really gives them a level of inspiration and motivation to continue to do their job. But not just that. We've had, tonight, this packet was very robust. The last 6 packets we've had, the last 6 have been just like this. We've had a lot of business to handle. This board of commissioners, they're getting it done. And the collaboration and the bringing together of our executive team, the leadership of our chief of staff, really moving us forward. We've got a lot more work to do as we move forward to wrap up 2021, but I think about the CIP and the 5-year forecast. And I think about the head start that we've already taken, Executive Director Sanders, as it relates to our budget, and Director Holmes, because everyone, long before we got a finance director, everybody was a part of the finance department trying to make sure we put it all together. A lot of work has been done. Employees are feeling good. The people in the community are being able to see the results of the work here in Rockdale County. And there's much more work to be done. We're not a perfect board, but we're working together on behalf of the citizens in Rockdale County. And as I stated about the opportunity to mix and mingle with Sheriff Levitt and his team, it means the same thing for this board. Good fellowship equals great relationship. So let's give the commissioners another round of applause. All right, Executive Director Rutledge, is there any reason we need to be going to executive session? It's 8:21 p.m.
No, Mr. Chairman.
With that being said, thank you so much. Thank you for tuning in, and this meeting is adjourned.